Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jamin here for what I watched this week. I don't even know the name of my own show. I'm not redoing it. That's staying in, everybody. So this is episode number 10, and on this show here on YouTube, I'm also live on Twitch right now. So follow me on Twitch. Jamin is kind of cool, and you can join in and chat live with me because I'm going to talk about Spider-Man 3, and I'm going to show off a lot of DVDs and 4K Blu-rays because that's what's on my second shelf. On my second shelf of my house, in my media shelf, is the DVDs and then the 4K Blu-rays. I think on the last episode I told you guys it would be more of my just regular Blu-rays, but no, it's not that. So here we go. So I opened it up with Spider-Man 3, and spoiler alert, I have a video, a commentary track video, which I used to do a whole lot on this channel, coming out with my brother for this movie, for Spider-Man 3. So it's going to be fun. And it's gonna be hilarious because we're very funny people. That's just the truth, you know. We're comedians. So stay on the lookout for that because this is our favorite. This is probably our favorite Spider-Man, just because it's memeable, and you know I love memeable movies. Memeable. I have to find a better word to say than memeable because memeable is very hard to say. Yeah, Spidey's back and better than ever, says Scott Mance, Access Hollywood. And I know who Scott Mance is nowadays. He's been on YouTube a lot. Oh my god, that's so funny to see Scott Mance on the back of this, saying Spidey's back and better than ever. I gotta send him a picture of this. That's funny. I'm sure, I mean, he knows that it was featured, obviously. But I've never heard him talk about it before. That's interesting. Every hero has a choice. And you should choose to watch this movie again. Rewatch it, because it's funny. And it's just like, it's classic Spider-Man. Everyone loves Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is the one I've seen the least. I've seen Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man 3 I've seen the most times, just because it's not come on TV, or we had like the DVD, we just watch it sometimes. Then it's probably Spider-Man, I've seen that the second most times, and then Spider-Man 2 the least most times. But it gets hyped up as the best one. And probably all around it is the best one of the Sam Raimi trilogy. But it goes into a territory that I don't like for superhero movies, is like losing your powers. Oh no, I don't have my powers. Now I'm just a regular human. Well, you were a regular human before this shit happened, so it's not interesting to me. Now, you're Spider-Man, and you do Spider-Man stuff. That's what's interesting to me. Don't be normal Peter Parker again, because I don't want to see that. That's the worst thing that people do in these that story people, the writers do in their superhero movies, is make their superheroes lose their powers. I don't like that. I don't like when that happens. I know there's a whole struggle there of like, well, now I don't have the responsibility anymore. And it's a new dynamic, but I'd rather see you have Spider-Man problems than normal people problems. I got normal people problems. You should have Spider-Man problems. So that's my thing with Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3, the only bad thing, well, lots of bad things, but the only not funny thing that I don't think is good about the Spider-Man 3 is that everyone is so shitty. Like, literally everyone is terrible to everyone in the movie, and it's kind of just a bummer and a downer. Like, sure, there's some funny parts, but for the most part, like, there's a lot of funny and memeable scenes, like the Sandman and him always announcing, you know, I'm not a bad guy, you know, that's just me. I'm just a normal guy. I just had trouble with money. Okay, but so he's terrible because he's just a criminal. Peter Parker's terrible because he kisses Gwen Stacy whenever he should be thinking about Mary Jane. He's gonna get married to her and he loves her, but he doesn't see the ramifications of his actions just making out with her on the fucking stage in front of everybody. And then Mary Jane is just blinded by the fact that she sucks at singing and she can't act or anything, and no one likes her. Which is, yeah, that's pretty shitty and sucks, but you gotta communicate better. She didn't tell Peter that she got canceled. Like, not canceled by, you know, saying the N-word or something, but canceled as in, like, she sucks at singing. And she should have just told him, and then they would have, you know, they could have mitigated a little bit of that, but there's just terrible part where she walks out and people start clapping, and she's like, "Oh, is it for me? Oh, you're clapping for me?" And then Spider-Man swings by, and she's like, "Oh no, it's for Spider-Man." And that's like, okay, Mary Jane really thinks that these people are clapping for her whenever she just walks out of a place where she's getting told that she sucks, and she's gonna believe that people are clapping for her. Fat chance, MJ. But it just rubs it in the. It's like salt in the wound to see Spider-Man getting praised, and then she gets nothing. Yeah, it's just a kind of a downer. I don't like that. And in the second movie, everyone's shitty to Peter for no reason. I don't like that either. It's very dramatic, and I do like the dramatic stuff because it's like a soap opera, especially the first one, which is what I really like about it, is that it's so dramatic and it's so like soap opera-y, and it's very campy in that way. I do like that part. I do like that, and that works for that one. Oh, by the way, showed you the DVD. Here is the Blu-ray set that my brother and I were watching when we watched Spider-Man 3. We watched it on. Oh, this is his. That's pretty cool. It's got a lot of stuff in it. A lot of special features and garbage. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about Spider-Man 3. I think Harry is just hilarious. Like, James Franco he's better in some things than other things, but I don't think he's ever been like really good at acting or believable, but he's just so funny as Harry Osborn. And he's so like, he has these just weird, goofy faces that make me go, haha. So, he's just funny. And Tobey Maguire, like, he's like a puppy. He has two, like there's a part where MJ's just berating him, and he's just like, "Oh, whisper man. No, MJ, you don't understand. You don't understand, MJ. I love you." Yeah, it's funny. All you need to know, the best thing ever to come from Spider-Man 3 is how it should have ended video about Spider-Man 3. Watch that on YouTube. Click off of my shit and go watch that instead, because that is way better and more and entertaining, at least. This is what I'm doing is just bullshit. But there's that. So, and I mean, watch our Spider-Man 3 commentary is going to come out. So if you really want to hear more about what we have to say about Spider-Man 3, what I have to say about it, wait for that video to come out, and then we'll be talking about everything throughout the whole movie and give it a score and stuff like that. So, cha-ching. And if anyone pops into the stream right now and wants to talk about Spider-Man 3, we shall. But for the moment, we're going to move on to my other movies because I got a whole bunch to go through. All right, here we go. So my 4K Blu-rays are here first, and starting off with the absolute banger, my favorite movie to come out of like 2019 or 2020 was Alita Battle Angel. I have this 4K Blu-ray. This movie fucking slaps. It's really great. If you love anime movies, or if you love anime, you'll love this movie. This is basically the most anime movie ever made. Robert Rodriguez is the director, and he's really, like, you would never expect him to direct something like this, but it really works, because I think James Cameron was really wanting to make this, but he's so wrapped up in Avatar and everything. He bought like the movie rights for this like a long ass time ago, and I guess he finally found the right guy to direct it for him, and put Robert Rodriguez in charge. And it's just a really super fun, cool, heartfelt movie. And I hope they come out with part 2. It doesn't look like it. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's ever going to come out, but in classic anime form, you know, they release season 1 and then they're just like, well, it's an absolute banger of a show, but is there going to be season 2? Probably not, because people fuck shit up all the time. But yeah, so check that out if you have not. Really good. Had to buy it on. Now this is just a goof. I don't know why I really wanted to buy this, but no one was talking about it, and I thought it was going to be hilariously bad. It is Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. Ooh. Because Vin Diesel's just a meme, you know, he's a meme guy now. And I was like, that's gonna be horrible and terribly bad. I didn't hear anybody talking about it, but I was interested, and it turns out it's not that bad. Like, people still say it's shitty, but it has more. It's more imaginative than you would think. You know, it has some good special effects because it's directed by a special effects artist, and so all the special effects and like the tech and stuff is really actually really cool in this. And and if you aren't spoiled by the trailer, don't watch the trailer, because what people biggest complaint was that they spoiled a big thing in the trailer, and the big twist that they do have in here, really worked for me because I didn't see it in the trailer, so I didn't know what to expect it at all. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And people were like, no, they ruined it in the trailer, and I was like, oh well, okay, that does suck, but it worked for me. So if you have any interest in it, it's probably like a 6 out of 10, but it's not as bad as you would think. And Vin Diesel is still he's Vin Diesel, but there's other good actors in. And you wouldn't think it, but this is also a Marvel. Wait, no. This is a DC movie, because Bloodshot is a DC character, and Bloodshot is actually the guy in Suicide Squad. Idris Elba's character in the newest Suicide Squad movie is Bloodshot. And so Bloodshot is, now there's 2 Bloodshots. No one talks about that, but there is 2 Bloodshots in the DC universe. And in this one, Vin Diesel's whole body is like little, what do they call those? Like microbots or something. Nanotech. It's all, his whole body is like nanobots. But in the Suicide Squad movie, Idris Elba's character, he just has nanobot guns that like form, and that's the only difference, really. All right, absolute classic by this point, which is sad to say. Like John Wick, everybody fucking Wick. So, and then what else could be said about John Wick? Really great stunts, really great action. I think I have another John Wick coming up, so yeah, I'll talk about that one, and I'll tell you my order for John Wick, because that's probably the most important thing about when you talk about John Wick, is what's your order, because they're all good, and they're all fun action movies. So we'll talk about the order that I like, that I have them in. And then I got this on. Oh, this is just the regular Blu-ray. But I think I did this to keep them together. But I got Avengers Endgame. Hell yeah. Really like this one. Just regular Blu-ray. I bought this. I wasn't planning on even buying this, because I thought it was going to be super expensive. And I was like, I'll just, we have Disney Plus. We've had it for like since it came out, so we'll be able to watch it whenever we want. But I came across this at like Best Buy on Black Friday for like $10. I was like, all right, I'm buying it. And then I got Deadpool 2. The super duper cut, includes theatrical and rated cut. Woo! But yeah, Deadpool 2. I think I like Deadpool 2 is better than Deadpool 1. It's just more, it just got more like more consistent goofs in it. It doesn't take itself as serious as the first one, even though the first one didn't take itself serious at all. Just even more so. They upped the budget a little bit, so there's some more action stuff, and it's really cool. And I think they step it up well enough. Like a lot of the same type of humor, but just bigger, and I like that. I think I like this one better than Deadpool 1. Both of them slap. The Patriot. I have this on 4K. I bought this at the same time that I bought the whatever it's called. Endgame. The same trip to Blockbuster. The same trip to Best Buy. I bought this one for like $10 as well, and I was like, I hadn't seen The Patriot in a long ass time, and I really liked it growing up. I saw it a bunch with my dad as a kid, and this is shocked me that this is a Roland Emmerich film. But Roland Emmerich is like a fucking Frenchman directing this badass movie about the American War. What do we call that? Holy shit, I'm blanking on it. Like the Revolutionary War. My history people out there about to slap me in the face. But surprisingly good. I know a lot of people think it's like it's pretty epic, and it's epically kind of dumb, but I really like it. It's emotional. It's heartfelt. I think it's probably Roland Emmerich's best film. Like, as far as all the sets go, the set pieces, the acting, the action, I think it's fine. People really, I don't know what the, I heard someone talk about it, like Red Letter Media guys say something about it wasn't like it's terrible or something, but I'd like to hear them talk about it one day. Figure out what they don't like about it, because I think it's pretty solid. So that's my opinion. And when I say that I've heard people don't like it, most of the time I'm talking about Red Letter Media, that they don't like it, because that's mostly who I ever listen to for film criticism. A couple other people, but those are the main ones that I really dig into, like their videos and stuff. So here we go. Here's John Wick 2 on 4K Blu-ray. Love this one. I think my order goes. I think it goes 3, 1, 2. Because 3 just opens up so awesome with like the horse and then the knives scene, and this is the one where the third one's where they lock down the tower, and they have all those guys coming up there to fight him, and he fights those 3-on-1 guys. He fights the raid guy, and I'm sure those other people are badass and they're from something, but I don't know what they're from. But the raid guy is in there, the animal raid guy, the small, who I'm talking about. If you know what the raid, you'll recognize him. And I don't remember much of Chapter 2. I remember the common fight was really cool. I think we actually get to see him use the pencil in this one, the pencil to the skull thing. And yeah, I don't remember much else. The ending was when he, no, that was the first one. When he walks in and shoots the guy. Fuck. I don't know. That's the order. That's why it's the order, because I don't remember this one that much. I think, yeah, I'm not even gonna try to speculate or remember. Third one, they have the people. They have Halle Berry and the dogs. So yeah, I don't know what the second one has. Okay, so it's 3, 1, 2 John Wick films for me. Here we go. I got Shazam on 4K Blu-ray. Don't ask me why. I just bought it. I mean, it was the same trip. I bought a lot of these 4K Blu-rays at Best Buy, because they have more of these type of movies than Walmart. Walmart doesn't carry 4K Blu-rays, like just different kinds. They only carry the new ones that come in. So like new movies that are released will come in on 4K, but they don't keep just 4K, like a 4K section. I think Best Buy does. They had a lot more of those on Black Friday, and this was like Black Friday like 2 years ago. And this is another one. I think I bought this one. Had to have bought this one this year, or not this year. Definitely last year. It was another Black Friday one, because when it was like $9 or $10, and I was like, well, fine, all right, I'll just buy it. But it's Rise of Skywalker. Even though this is the worst of the, even though I think this is the worst of the new Star Wars movies, I was like, I saw it and it's like, okay, fine. It looked good on, because I had just put in my theater. You see back here, my little home theater system thing, and I was like, I'm gonna check out some cool movies, and I know this one will have good special effects. There's that one. My order for the Star Wars movies is what's the Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, and then Rise of Skywalker. It's so difficult for me to remember the names of those goddamn movies. Like, I'll never forget Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. Like, those just stick out so much. But like, you just mumbo jumbo Jedi and Skywalker and shit into it. The Force Awakens is a great title. I don't really like the Rise of Skywalker or the Last Jedi as like titles, but Attack of the Clones is really stupid too, but at least it's memorable. And then Blade Runner 2049. I bought this, another Black Friday deal. Features high dynamic range. Hell yeah. So I mentioned this when I talked about Dune, because this Villeneuve directed. Dennis Villeneuve directed this, and I watched like an hour of it, and I was so bored, and I just turned it off. But it looked really good, and I just wasn't in the mood for like a dramatic slow burn of a movie that day, because this is very long. So I was like, eh. And I guess you could say that the same thing about Dune. Like Dune is probably exactly like that, but that day I watched Dune, I was really into watching a slow burn, kind of dramatic, epic movie. This is my last 4K Blu-ray, and it's Venom, which looks good on 4K Blu-ray. But I bought all these on Black Friday, except for, and you can tell the cases, like, this is that flimsy plastic cheap case. The only ones that I didn't buy on Black Friday, probably the only one, was Alita. I bought Alita off of Walmart.com because I couldn't find the 4K Blu-ray anywhere at my Walmart, so I had to order it online. And they put it in that big tower back when they would use the tower for pickup orders, and that was fun to get it out of the tower. But they don't use the tower no more, cause fuck it. Fuck it. That's why. Shout out Rockstar Punched. I'm usually a Monster person, but they didn't have Monster Fruit Punch or Monster Orange, which I've really been wanting to get the Monster Orange. None of those were there. All right, now we're going into some DVDs. So I have some interesting things to say about the DVDs when I get there. When I get to certain ones, I'll tell you what the dealio was. Okay, there we go. We got X-Men Days of Future Pants. This is probably of the new trilogy of these. I gotta even remember. X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Dark Phoenix. I'll have to rearrange my thoughts to give you the rankings for those movies. But Days of Future Past is really cool. It kind of sucks that Wolverine is sidelined for this one because I really just love Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. But, Professor X and Magneto's characters they really have to stand out in these versions, which they stood out in the other versions too. But like they're just the main driving force for these newer trilogy movies of X-Men. So yeah, good solid story. We got that Quicksilver scene, which is awesome, and yeah, an electrifying ride, says somebody. Okay, Ocean's 11. Cool heist movie. Pretty cool, interesting heist movie. Great cast. Yeah, kind of speaks for itself. If you've seen Ocean's 11, then it's good. Brad Pitt, Matt Damon. It's a fun heist movie. Check it out. If you have not, not much to say about it. I think that's the only one I've seen. I think I've seen Ocean's 12 too, but I don't remember any of it. Ocean's 13, I don't think I ever saw. All right, now this is a super interesting one. This is Daredevil. I got this on Blu-ray. This is my actual, not my, but our actual like family copy of this movie. This was purchased back in the day when they were releasing the Blu-ray or the DVDs, because this case is heavy as shit. It's not one of those recyclable cheap plastic cases. This sucker is heavy, full plastic. And it's got 2 discs. 2 discs, so that makes it a little heavy. Check out this little packet. Bro, we could save on some popcorn. Act 2. So, this movie, I thought wasn't as bad. Like, I was like, people hating on Daredevil, it's not that bad, And then I rewatched it, and yeah, it's that bad. If you have any nostalgia for Daredevil, like you think, oh no, the fucking Evanescence song and all that shit, it's actually pretty good. It's memeable, it's laughable. It's like a funny bad movie. No, it's really not funny bad. It's just bad. It's like not fun. It's cringe. The only cool thing is Michael Clark Duncan and the bad guys are good. Bullseye is really funny, or he's just the best. Colin Farrell is really fucking funny and awesome, and Michael Clark Duncan, the Kingpin, is good, but Elektra and Daredevil, they suck. And Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil in the new Marvel show, he was announced to be the Marvel MCU's Daredevil, so that's fucking awesome. So whenever we see Daredevil later on in a movie, probably one that I don't think it's gonna be a show. There's gonna be some kind of movie with around those smaller characters in New York, like Moon Knight and stuff. And he's gonna show up, which is gonna be awesome because Charlie Cox is really awesome as Daredevil. Daredevil season 3. Daredevil, all the Daredevil show on Netflix. If you haven't seen it and you like Daredevil, fucking watch it. It's awesome. I'm sure you have by this point, but all 3 seasons are really good. A lot of people were disappointed in season 2, but I really like season 2. The Punisher shows up in season 2, and I think that kind of took the focus off of Matt Murdock and Daredevil a bit. And I think people think it got lost or something because I think Elektra shows up there in 2, and it's just kind of muddled. But I thought it was good. And then season 3 is really good, and they were getting back on track with the show. Bullseye comes in season 3, and it's awesome. It's so fucking cool what they do with Bullseye's character. And I love that. I would love to rewatch season 3 at some point. I think it's my favorite season. Season 1's really great. Season 2, I think, is good. I love Daredevil. I love John Bernthal as the Punisher coming in. And season 3 is just really fucking good. And I wish they would have kept it going, but they canceled like all of the shows on Disney, all of the MCU shows on Netflix. They canceled all of them. I think maybe not, except for Jessica Jones. I'm not sure, but the only one I care about is Daredevil. And I watched the first season of dang it, what's his name? Of Luke Cage. I watched the first season of Luke Cage. Thought it was really good. Never got into the second season, but I really liked the message of the first season with the bullet holes thing. It was really cool. I was like, oh, that's a dope moment. So there's my review of those shows and of Daredevil. Don't ever watch it. Listen to the Evanescence song instead, and then you can say, yeah, that's a good movie. So I got this DVD for Wayne's World 1 and Wayne's World 2. Both absolute bangers. First one better than the second one. Second one's kind of, I don't know for sure what, but not as good. The Wayne Stock idea was a good idea for the movie, but I don't know. I didn't think the first one's just more classic to me. I watched that one much more times than the second one. There's that. I gotta hurry up because I'm going too slow. I took too much time to talk about Daredevil. Okay, this is The Dark Knight on DVD. This is one of those cheap cases, and these are super dirty. Hope they don't show up super dirty, like super dusty. But I made it a like a funny, like just a stupid goal of mine. I made the goal to own The Dark Knight on like every format. So I have The Dark Knight DVD. I have The Dark Knight Blu-ray, and then I also have a Blu-ray box set with all of the movies in it. So I have 3 different copies of The Dark Knight. One of my favorite movies. It was in my 3x3, so there you go. Which I might take it out of my 3x3. I don't know. It's just really great, but also there's just other movies too that I would put in there. Well. Okay, now The Sandlot is a family feature. Sandlot. The disc is not even in here. But Sandlot, absolute classic. Growing up, I never played much. I played baseball for a little while, but always more of a basketball guy. But I played enough. I played till when I was about their age, so I played enough to get the movie, And I think it's kind of a relatable story for. I don't know. That's a tough one. For boys, it's definitely more relatable for boys than girls. So I don't know, but still, good family feature. Like you can watch if you watch it with your family and you have daughters. I'm sure you can kind of, talk them through it, talk about it with them. You hear my dogs going crazy. I think that means my My family's here. So let's talk about Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1. Oh no, this is Part 2. I don't even think I've seen Part 1. I own Part 2. Huh. Let's see. It's in here. But yeah, classic Superman. I saw Superman on the back, so classic Batman story. DC really kills it on these animation releases. I really wanted to watch The Killing Joke because it did come out rated R, but I never watched it. I used to be way more into these Batman animated movies than I am now. I used to watch like all of them when they came out because I'd always see the DVDs and the Blu-rays come to Walmart because I would just walk by and I'd see them there and I'm like, oh, there's a new one. And, back when I had more time, I'd buy them and watch them, but now I'm a fake Batman fan. All right, here's an interesting one. Check this out. Ridley Scott's Prometheus. You know, I've owned this since the movie came out. This is one of them cheapo cases. But I never watched this. Not once. Never. Nope. I've never seen Prometheus, but I know almost everything about it because I've watched a lot of videos about Prometheus. It's one of the most fascinating movies that I've never seen. You can still hear that soundtrack in your head if you just stop and think about. I can't do them. All right, Inception. Ooh, Christopher Nolan. Dazzling, breathtaking. It says Roger Ebert. Leonardo DiCaprio. Look how big his name is at the top of this. What a fucking legend. But you guys know about Inception. I think it's good. I think I've only ever seen it once. People say it's kind of hard to get or understand. Nah, not too bad. High concept, so it's fine. I think I'd like to watch it again someday. I don't know. It'd be hard to follow. It'd be hard to watch with like my girlfriend. You know, she needs like she can't focus. She has trouble focusing on things. So not not in a bad way. Like movies specifically, she has a problem focusing on movies. So it's got to be something for her to follow that's not a high concept kind of thing. So maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll never watch it again. I don't know. Now this is cool. This is a movie weekend kind of box set. It's just all the Rocky movies. Well, not all of them, 1 through 4. So the good ones. Fuck you, 5, Rocky 5. Rocky Balboa is really good. I wish I had that one, but I don't. But yeah, I did binge these. I got all the way to. I watched Rocky 1, Rocky. I watched Rocky 1, 2, and 3 all in one day because I never seen them, and then I watched Rocky 4 the next. Awesome, really good. Rocky. The first one is a really. I mean, it won Best Picture, so it's a really good film. I got this one. Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is a funny classic from my childhood. Watched it a couple times with my dad. Haven't seen it since. I don't even know how I got this. I don't know if I bought this. Like, I don't know how I got this. So here's Django. Really like this one. Quentin Tarantino. Probably like my top 4 films of his. It's good, interesting, bloody, but yeah, the funny story about this is that I watched and I was like, this is awesome. And then I was like, we gotta watch this movie. And I didn't think about it. I was telling like I watched this with my dad and my brother, and me and my brother would have been okay, but like this is when I was like, when did this come out? 2018 or so. I don't really see the date. But it came out years ago, and I wasn't really. It was a weird time for growing up when you have you start to become like an adult, and you can hear cuss words and sex and stuff, and your parents, about that, and you're like, oh, we're both adults, we can watch these kind of things. Well, I was like, we should watch this, and I had been it had been years, a couple years since I've been out of the house, and I had got jaded to the fact of like blood, gore, and curse words. And so I started watching this with my dad and my brother, and there's like the N word, there's so much blood, and there's like, I don't know if there's boobies or anything in here, but there's just so much violence and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of, I forgot how much bad language and stuff was in this movie, and I'm watching it with my dad. It's kind of awkward, you know. But now I'm over that. You grow out of that, but I was still young, and that's just a funny story. But I don't remember where I watched this. I don't remember where I watched Stomp the Yard, but I think I got this from. I think I got this from like one of those thrift stores, and I don't know why I bought it, but I liked it. I think I watched it at school. Literally, I think I watched this at school, and thought it was cool. So I have it for some reason, but yeah, it's good. Get some culture in your life, guys. Watch some different types of films. All right. And now here's this one, Justice League Doom. See, I told you I used to buy these. I didn't even remember that I had this, but I did watch this. This is a really cool one. I won't spoil what it is, but let me make sure this is the one. Yes, this is the one. So if you really like the Justice League, you haven't seen this one, you like Batman, Superman, all that. Hey, Boba's back. What's up, Boba? He says, I enjoy Spider-Man 3 as well. Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is great. I was talking about it. Now I'm going through the movies that I have on my shelf, episode 2 of movies that are on my shelf. Sandman was a great villain, and it had a future with potential. Yeah, I love that. I wish that, I kind of wish that I think Sam Raimi's plan was for Venom to be in the fourth one. You may know more, but I just wish that Venom would have been out of this movie, and Sam Raimi didn't want to put him in the movie. But the studios were like, no, we gotta have Venom, because Venom is Venom, and he's awesome. But, yeah. So yeah, Venom is like the weakest part. Even though he's cool, I like the way this Venom in this movie looks more than the new updated Venom. But, you know, new Venom is fine too. But anyways, on this, watch this if you haven't seen it. Really great story. One of the most interesting stories from DC. Boba says, I didn't mind having the Venom suit, but introducing the entire Barack conflict was a bit much. Yeah, it was too rushed. Like, maybe if he was introduced in the movie before, yes, there's just too much in it. Like, with Harry's arc and his arc, and both of them just hating Spider-Man, it's just too much. Like, if you could have introduced Brock in the movie beforehand and it carried over, so you're kind of like, oh yeah, you have more time with this character and the conflict to kind of materialize better. But it's just so rushed, and it has, you have too much going on, too many villains, all that kind of thing. It's always a Spider-Man problem. Too many. Okay, now this is cool. If you haven't seen this, you really should. This is Hotel Rwanda with Don Cheadle, aka War Machine in the fucking MCU movies. But it's a true story. Academy Award nominee in 2004. I watched this. Did I already say that? I watched this in school. One of my teachers, my English teacher, had us watch this, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, this really happened? It's pretty cool. I mean, the movie, this whole situation with the Tutsu, yeah, and Boba watched it in school too. What the heck? Pretty crazy. But I really loved it, and I had to watch it again, so I bought it. Yeah, I was into martial arts films. I think we talked about that the other day. I think that was you. When I had my 3x3 and the Jackie Chan thing. I wasn't ever super duper big into martial arts films, but I do like some. Like, this is here just to go off of that, because this is one of the things I have. I have this. Jackie Chan collection. These are the Miramax versions of the Jackie Chan film. Like, so on here you got Operation Condor, Operation Condor 2, Armor of God, Dragon Lord, Twin Dragons. You know, Jackie Chan has a twin. Of course, they do that. Jackie Chan's Project A, Jackie Chan's Project A2, Super Cop, which is one of the best Jackie Chan movies. And then The Accidental Spy. Yeah. I love this. I just love this generic Jackie Chan photo on the front where he's posed with like two ladies. One has a gun and one has, well, both of them have a gun, but one has a silencer on it. That's just, but uh hey, yeah, the tuxedo was a little weak. Jennifer looked good in it though. Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt. There's the medallion and then there's the tuxedo. Those are two like mid 2000s Jackie Chan movies that I saw in theaters. The medallion we saw for my birthday. We rented out the theater one year and we went and watched the medallion. That was pretty fun. Jackie Chan doesn't even do movies in America anymore because he doesn't like the employee protection law. Yeah, that does suck. Because and he's all about China. They don't really take breaks in China, says Boba. Yeah, he is and he's like a China apologist. I mean, he's all about like, you know, like 18 hours. Oof. It's a long shooting day. But yeah, he's like, you know, free Hong Kong or whatever. Like he's against that basically. So Jackie Chan is kind of a secret asshole. I mean, he's not even a secret asshole. He like hates his son. There's all kinds of funny stuff about. Well, I don't think that's funny, but there's all kinds of weird stuff about Jackie Chan. He's an old guy, you know. He's not sure. He's an old guy. He's got his own things going on. Ugh. But yeah, and he does all his own stunts. It was cool to see him do those stunts, and then like the outtakes of him messing up the stunts back in the day, like on the end of the reels. Um, yeah, there's a moment in the tuxedo though. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but in the tuxedo, Jennifer Love Hewitt falls into a pool, and I think at one point like she's kind of, you know, she's in like a wet shirt or something, and it's supposed to be like one of the most paused moments from like certain from a movie. I don't know how they know this, but like I guess just from like posts about it on online, people were like, "Yeah, I used to we paused at this one spot." I don't know. That's just like some internet rumor, but that's some funny bit of trivia there for you about the tuxedo. Okay, I got a couple more movies. I got to go fast on these. Uh all right. So, this is the thing here. When I got into to these movies. So, back whenever I was in college, I went and looked on IMDb because IMDb was a big new thing. Like when I was in college, like fucking 7 years ago or so. And so I would just look at the top rated movies and I would look at them. I would be like, well, what's on here? What's on this list that's really high rated? And I would just like buy those movies on DVD because they're super cheap on DVD. And back in like 7, 8 years ago, Blu-rays weren't as crazy as they are now. Like as far as like I would have bought like nowadays if I was watching these movies, I would have bought them on Blu-ray. But just back then, I would get them on Amazon, and they were cheap, and I'd watch like a movie every night, you know. So this is one. This is the first one I got, The Prestige, and this one is really awesome. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan film, I think. It surpasses The Dark Knight, all that. It's my favorite of his films. It's just really well done. Great actors in there, and I mean it's just like so masterfully. Yeah, it's really good. And I forgot about this. This should have been on my 3x3. I forgot I even had this, but it's a really good watch. I watch it every year or so, every couple years, just to revisit it because it's really good. Okay. Then here is like half. Here's half of my Iron Man 1 movie. Like this is the original. Like it's supposed to have a sleeve. It's supposed to have a sleeve that goes on it. So when you take the sleeve off, this is what's underneath it. because this is like really old school. The actual movie, I don't know where the actual movie is. There's a bonus disc. There's a bonus disc, but you know, whatever. But Iron Man 1, really great film. Probably my favorite of the Iron Man movies. Yeah, definitely my favorite of the Iron Man movies. And yeah, Boba says it had Nikola Tesla. Yeah, played by David Bowie. Tesla is played by David Bowie. And I bought this at Walmart. Best Picture, 1988, Rain Man. And it's still in the plastic. I've heard it's really great. I meant to watch it, but I've never watched it. Oh fuck! Slap that. Never even opened it. Now here's something funny. I bought this. I mean, all this stuff I kind of bought at Walmart. Like not all of it, obviously, because I just told you I've bought some from Amazon. But when the Godzilla movies were coming out, they released this little Godzilla pack of these movies, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I want to watch some of the old Godzilla movies." So I bought this, and I think I only ever watched one of them. Let me see. I think I watched Giant Monsters All Out Attack. That's the one I watched. And they're okay. You know, these big monster movies they're funny. It's just fun to see like the old classic monster movies and how they were made. It's kind of it's interesting to see. So I haven't watched all of these. I've watched one of them though. This is another one that I bought on Amazon. V for Vendetta, which I really like. Really cool movie. Who directed this? It wasn't the Wachowskis. Screenplay by the Wachowskis. Directed by James McTeague. I wonder what else that guy's directed. But Hugo Weaving, fucking awesome as V. Hugo Weaving is just badass, dude. I wish he was in more stuff. Like he's V and he's Mr. He's oh, dang it, what's the Matrix guy's name? Agent Smith. Yeah. And he's Agent Smith. Hugo Weaving should be in more stuff. I mean, he's in Lord of the Rings as well, so he's in some pretty big stuff, but now this is cool. This one is Seven. So I first watched Seven whenever I was like a young lad at a sleepover party. As a horror movie, we bought this or we rented it that night as like a horror film. But this is really not a horror film. It's kind of like people kind of say it's like Saw before Saw, but it's really just a dark, twisted detective story, like crime story, with I guess you could call it horror elements, but it's more like thriller elements. But a lot of at the time it was pretty horrific to me, and I mean it still is pretty horrific. Like when that dude is chained up to the bed and everything. I won't spoil stuff, but like there's some pretty like that scene particularly is pretty frightening and horrifying. So yeah, just really great. David Fincher is probably his best film. I'd have to look at what else David Fincher has directed, but I love Seven. Gone Girl's really great. David Fincher film. I really like that because I'm really into true crime. Um, Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, just because I like Johnny Depp when he's in like weird classical stuff. I watched this not too long ago, probably like last year, because I'd really never seen it all the way through, and it's okay. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I'd say it's okay. It's not really memorable. I mean, it looks nice. I love the costumes and stuff, but yeah. And is this directed by Tim Burton? Yeah, it is. So it's a Tim Burton film. Kind of just goes under the radar on his filmography, if you have. Now this is like my favorite. This is like my favorite comedy special of all time. Kevin Hart laugh at my pain. Really funny special that he did. Uh, really really hilarious stuff. Hopefully my camera's not gonna die here in a second. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like this. Let me plug up my camera real quick. Let me try to get it plugged up, so maybe it won't die. Oh, whole ass headphones attached to it to my because I really like Eternal Sunshine. I want to talk about it. I don't want this to. Oh, fuck. I should have had this plugged up from the beginning, but okay. Gotta do some work today, cutting this shit up. Um, so yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey, really his best acting role, I think. I don't know what else would be considered his best acting role. I think this is Kate Winslet. You know, this is one of those movies. It took me 2 times watching this to really get it. I hope this cord is not right in the way. The cord from like it is right in the way. There we go. I'm a little off center, but all right. So yeah, it took me 2 times watching this to really get it, to like figure out what it was. And it's a focus feature direct, or other movies that are like, what's the other movie that I have that's focus feature? Lost in Translation. So these two are very similar in that way, of like just these indie kind of dramas with a little flair to them, a kick to them. A smart, sexy, and seriously funny comedy. Yeah, it's just good. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Really try to invest yourself in it, dive into the story and everything. Like really pay attention, because it does have like some very like existential type of vibe, surreal vibe, you know. So yeah, but once you realize what's happening, you figure out what's really going on. You know, it really hits home to you. It's, you know, a different way than a lot of comedies and romantic comedies do. This is not really romantic comedy, but it kind of is. So dramedy for sure. One of those I bought, a Stanley Kubrick film from Amazon. Looking at the IMDb list, I was like, oh, this is cool. Got to see this. Really powerful stuff. Powerful film. Check it out. No Country for Old Men. Instant classic, says David Asnen from Newsweek. Very frustrating movie for me, because when I saw it and you know the ending happens, won't spoil. You're like, what the fuck, dude? Why? This is so weird, and I don't get it. Uh, what, you know? Because I was younger and I didn't understand film, which I still don't understand film. But when you look at it, you get older and you watch more movies and everything, and you just pick up on more techniques and more uh ways stories are told, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, and, you know, you get it. But really well made. Who are the Coen brothers? That's right, Ethan, Ethan and Joel Coen, Coen brothers film, and probably their best one. I'm really partial to um Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I'm really partial to that movie as their favorite, or as their best, just because it meant a lot to me growing up. That movie, my dad loves the banjo and he loves bluegrass, so he really got a kick out of that. So here we go. Controversy inbound. Lord of the Rings theatrical versions, 3 film collection. I can't get into Lord of the Rings as much as everyone else. It's just, after seeing Game of Thrones, after seeing so much different media about the medieval times, and not watching this as a kid growing up or reading the books or anything, it just feels, I know this is the thing that started it all. It's the thing that all other fantasy kind of modeled itself after, but with all of the different kinds of stories like this told nowadays, it just feels too old and too simple, and even campy to me at some points. Um So I know everyone loves it. I'm not gonna shit on the filmmaking. It's very beautiful. The scenes are done well. You know, the story flows well. It's a good story, but it just doesn't vibe with me the right way. And it doesn't feel dark enough. It feels kind of like I don't want to say kiddie, but like it's like, you know, and it has it really appeals to like a child wonder. Kind of like Harry Potter does. Harry Potter kicks Lord of the Rings ass every day of the week. No way around it. No but if ands or buts, if you ask me. I got this Hercules movie with Dwayne Johnson. See, that was definitely a promo. Definitely a Black Friday thing. Never opened it. Holy shit, it's a Brett Ratner film. Didn't even know that. Didn't realize it till just now. So there, Brett Ratner. Oh, fuck that one. I don't know why I bought that. For the goofiness, I guess. Fight Club. David Fincher film. This is another one. This might be his best one. What other one did I talk about? Seven. Ooh, it's a close one. Both really great. Everyone knows about Fight Club, so I won't waste my time on Fight Club. Really like it. Shawshank Redemption. Good. Disc's not even in there, so I don't know where that's at. But you guys know my thoughts. I talked about my 3x3, The Green Mile, directed by the same guy that directed this, and it's just better. Green Mile is just better. I like it better. So I think Bobo went away, but he's missing out on some more. I forgot that these were here, but he's missing out on some more kung fu martial arts film stuff. I got The Protector, and look how big Quentin Tarantino's name is up on there. But Quentin Tarantino presents Tony Jaa in The Protector, the best all-out action film so far this year. Me and my brother fucking loved The Protector when Tony Jaa. This movie kicks ass. I don't think it holds up as well. I tried to watch it not too long ago, and I watched some of the scenes. I just spit everywhere. I watched some of the scenes, and it didn't really kick ass as much as it used to. But it's still really good. I think the raid really kicks this movie's ass nowadays. But you know, yeah. And plus, the fucking Protector 2 sucks dick. It's horrible. But you know, there's a lot of other Ong Bak movies that Tony Jaa was in that are probably good and classic. But this one's just very cool. We loved it as kids. Like we were like, I don't know how old we were, but who directed this? It was presented by Quentin Tarantino, but directed by Prachak Pinnik, some foreign guy, probably Thai. I think Tony Jaa is Thai. He does Thai boxing. Then I got Ip Man. Ooh, look at that. Donnie Yen. I think this is the very first Ip Man. Mentor of the iconic legend Bruce Lee. How was he the mentor? Donnie Yen. Wasn't that they're like the same fucking age. Best martial arts movie of all time, hands down. Says Twitch Films. Oh, where Twitch? Yeah, I never watched this. It's still unopened. I think I bought it because people say Ip Man is amazing. But I have watched. I started to watch Ip Man 3 just because I think people said it was bad. So I was like, I'm gonna watch the bad one. See what that's about. I watched like half of it one day, but maybe I gotta check out this one. And then last but not least, another Denis Villeneuve film. This is his best one. Prisoners. Fucking love Prisoners. It absolutely rips ass, not in a good way. And you should watch it if you haven't. I won't spoil anything, but if you like drama and crime dramas, really powerful stuff, and two great performances by our leaders, here Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. It really is great. It's really great. Me and Megan watched it. She loved it, but then I talked to her about it the other day, and she's like, "What? I've never seen that. You watched that with some other girl," which is. But no, I watched it with you. I for 100% did. Anyways, that's all my movies, guys, on my second media shelf. So we're still waiting around for Spider-Man No Way Home to come out, which will come out soon. So maybe I don't think next week. Next week I think I have to do one more shelf of movies, and then we'll have our Spider-Man 3 review talk. Maybe I can get maybe I can get my dad and my brother and all them to come over and talk with me after. That would be hella dope. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And I know this is crazy and this video's everywhere, but I just, if you watch this far, you're awesome. I love you. Hope you have a great day. And bye bye. Subscribe, like, follow me on Twitch and everything. Jamie's kind of cool. I'm out of here.